So we went through what's called the operating principle of the conscious mind. Okay, it has to do with the vibrational energy frequency, and we can consciously take ownership of our vibrational energy frequency with respect to time, with respect to space and material object and human experience. Okay. If our vibrational energy frequency is positive, we experience life that is positive. If vibrational energy frequency is negative or low, then we similarly will experience life that is negative or undesirable. Okay, so our vibrational energy frequency is a match for our life experience. Okay, where we are today, our life situation, our health condition, our finance, our relationship. If it is not where we are today, then we can initiate the intention or the desire to become. And to become, we invite you to become holistically wealthy. Okay, holistically wealthy. 7 holistic riches. Enrich your wisdom, enrich your attitude, enrich our character and integrity, enrich our capability of physical vitality, and then material rich will come. And when we have material rich, give it away. Even if we don't have material rich, give it all away. Give our fortune away. Okay, give our 7 gifts. Okay, holistically wealthy and holistically healthy. Okay. Later on, probably not now, but not probably not today, but we will invite you to become the kind of people that bring value to other people. Okay, the kind of people that bring value to other people. 9 types of people. We will learn that later. Probably not today. Okay, 9 types of people. We invite you to become wise, to become loving, to become kind. Okay. Clear my desk, keeping the human construct in view. To become holistically rich is this one. Okay, 7 candles of holistic health and wealth. To have fullness of awareness and perception about whatever it is that we want in life. Okay, whether it's a relationship or our finance or our health, to have awareness, a fullness of awareness and perception, meaning to have clear mental images. We already have the formula for it. Okay, root cause formula. When we have clear mental images, we have reality of it. In a little bit, we'll learn about clear, favorable concept. Clear concept. Okay, to get to a state of balance and positive. Okay, but before that, there's something else that will help us get clear and get balance and get positive. And let's take a look. in the formula of cause, condition, and effect. Cause, effect, there is an aspect of affinity. Affinity. Okay. The cause is the inner seed, the relationship, the inner awareness. The effect is the outcome in life. Cause condition, actually, I should say. The cause condition. Okay. The cause is the inner awareness. The effect is the outcome in life. I'm going to say life outcome. Inner awareness, wisdom, perception, inner state, vibrational energy, frequency, all of that stuff had been about inside of us. Okay, we know that we have good inner seed, good cause. It's going to eventually bring about the good effect of the desirable life outcome. But if we throw the seed into the cement, it won't take root and it will not grow into a tree. Okay. If we throw a seed into shallow ground, it might grow into a little plant, but won't have a chance to dig deep and take root. It too will not bear fruit. So we're going to start to take a little closer look to the condition in the formula of cause and effect. It is cause, condition, and effect, and that will bring us the effect. Okay, the conditioning. So with the conditioning, consider the several words. Okay, so I'm about to run out of ink in this pen. Still have some left. Okay, condition. Think of a word. Cultivation. Think of the word accumulation. Okay. Accumulation, conditioning, cultivation. Okay, we're going to talk about, with those words in mind, we're going to talk about what's called the operating principle of the subconscious mind. Okay, operating principle of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, according to current modern day scientific understanding, it's still very vague. At least we understand that subconscious mind is a vast part within our being that has a lot of how do you say, influence about over our life experience. Only a small part of us can we actually control, which is the conscious part. Okay, and only a tiny part of that conscious part is used for thought. Okay, so we really only use a very tiny portion of our mind. The vast part is the subconscious, being below the surface. Let's see if we can make use of the subconscious mind in order to direct it toward making our life better. Okay. So science has been able to demonstrate that everything that we hear, that we see, that we know gets passed through our conscious mind and into our subconscious mind over time. Right? I think we can understand that pretty simply. Everything that we encounter in this life, or the message that we receive through our hearing and our seeing and our knowing, get passed into our subconscious mind and kind of get stored there. And so let's draw a little rectangle here. Okay. This rectangle represents the garden of our subconscious mind. In this garden of our subconscious mind, there are some seed. And you can draw a bunch of seed. There are there are many different seed, we're going to categorize them to simplify them into 3 different types of seed. I'm going to use the red one. We're going to call it the seed of knowledge. Representing all the things that we know. The seed of knowledge. A lot of seeds. There are some seed representing our affinity with other people. Affinity means attraction, our attraction with other people. Okay, oops. Green seed. So I draw that with green. So there's a bunch of red seed, a bunch of green seed, a different color. Different, you can even do different sizes. Okay, different kinds of seed, different sizes. And for simplicity's sake, some seed have already turned into a tree that bore fruit. Okay, so some seed have been planted, seeds of knowledge. Some seed have been planted, seed of affinity. Some seed have already become a tree and bore fruit. Different types of knowledge, but just going to simplify it, call it seed of knowledge. Okay, they're all knowledge seeds. We have different relationship with people. We're just going to simplify it by calling those all the seeds of affinity. And those seeds have grown into a tree and they have bore fruit. Fruit is the outcome in life, right? Those are the things in our subconscious mind that somehow cause us, through our awareness, through our vibrational energy frequency, through our good fortune, bad fortune, have manifested in desirable or undesirable outcome in life. Those are the fruit. Now, this seed, so let's rewrite those words again. Let's just going to use the word cultivation. Yeah. Conditioning, cultivation, accumulation. Let's just use cultivate for now. Just we're working with seed, okay? Cultivation. Through the process of cultivation, cultivating these seed, okay? How do we cultivate them? We cultivate them through our hearing. We cultivate them through our seeing. We cultivate them through our saying or speaking. And we cultivate them through our knowing. And the process of cultivating through our seeing, hearing, saying, and knowing, for the most part, takes place in the mind and the emotion. Okay? Through our human nature. If through the process of cultivation, through our hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing, via the human nature, which is the mind and the emotion, when we plant each of these seeds, it takes on a positive or negative charge. It could be negative. It could be positive. Or it could be, let's use a different color. Let's use pink for balance. Balance. If we cultivate these seeds through the way we hear, the way we see, the way we speak and know, and it is negative, then those seed is going to start to bear fruit, and they will manifest in undesirable circumstances in life. If we cultivate it in a positive way through our hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing positively, then they're going to manifest by helping us attracting desirable circumstances, positive things in life, circumstance, desirable, negative things in life, undesirable. If we cultivate them, if we cultivate these seeds and we cultivate them with a balanced energy, then we are getting neither positive nor negative. Neither positive nor negative. It is balanced. Okay? And in this garden of our subconscious, beside from the seed that we have been cultivating, beside the seed that we've been planting, okay, every time we plant a seed, a bit of knowledge, for instance. Hang on, let me close the door. The kids are noisy. So at the moment of coming to know any bit of knowledge, remember this message, right? At the moment that any message comes into us, if we allow our mind and our emotion, our human nature, to charge that bit of knowledge, then that bit of knowledge becomes positive or negative. At the moment of coming into contact with another person, and we plant the seed of affinity with that person, either negative or positive, it takes on a negative or positive charge. Over time, it will grow up to become negative or positive tree. It will bear negative or positive fruit. Okay? At the same time, in this garden of our subconscious, we have a gardener. Okay, we have a gardener. Okay. This gardener has a name called Mr. Will. Okay, Mr. Will. The will to hear, the will to see, the will to say, and the will to know. Each time that we think about a person, for instance, okay, it's time we think about a person, and we think about a person with positive mindset and inner state, we are essentially telling Mr. Will, go cultivate that tree for me with positive energy. Telling Mr. Will to go and pour some positive water, feed it with some positive fertilizer, and we can be sure that the positive affinity will grow into a positive tree that will eventually bear positive fruit. When we think about any bit of knowledge, any bit of information, any message, and we think of it in a negative sense, we have a negative inner state. We're essentially telling Mr. Will to go water it with some negative energy, fertilize it with some negativity, negative fertilizer, and that bit of knowledge is going to grow up into a negative tree. It'll bear negative fruit, and we will get negative outcome in life. Mr. Will operates our hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing. But Mr. Will is us, okay? But we, in this concept, it is our will to hear, the will to see, the will to know, and the will to speak. And so, whenever we meet a person, okay, have you ever met a person that, well, first of all, if we just know a person for a long time, let's say our spouse, it's easier to use first, okay, that our spouse, okay, we know them for a long time. Every time we think about a spouse and we think of them in a positive way, we have positive inner state. Our vibrational energy frequency is high, positive is high. We feel happy, we feel joy, we experience pleasure with our spouse. Then over time, our affinity, our attraction with that spouse is going to grow into a positive tree, and then we will reap the benefit of a positive fruit in terms of our relationship with our spouse. But if we think about children, and every time we think about children, we worry about them, we have anxiety, we are pessimistic about the future, we think they play too much game, they're bad at studying, we think they're troublemakers. We're essentially telling Mr. Will please go and water my affinity seed and take care of my affinity tree with respect to my children in a negative way. And over time, every time we think about them, every time we see a mental image about them, every time we hear ourselves speak about them, our knowledge of them become more and more and more negative. And guess what? Over time, our relationship with that child is going to be negative. That is the operating principle of the subconscious mind. Every time we think about it, every time we see, we hear, we say, we know about something, it takes on a positive and negative polarity. And so our affinity, through the laws of cause and effect, right? That what you sow, so shall you reap. Now, with the additional component of conditioning for cultivation. That's the stuff that the affinity that we have with people that we know and have relationship with on a daily basis. But what about meeting someone that you've never met before? Have you ever met anybody you've never met before, and you just meet them for the first time, maybe at the party or at work, and you just feel like you kind of know that person, that you resonate on the same frequency, that you agree with each other, our mindset are similar, our perspective are the same, and you become fast friend, best friend overnight. Or love struck. What's the term Vietnamese? What do you call it when you fall in love right away? Is there a term for that?
I think love
Love
struck.
at first sight.
Love at first sight. Okay, love at first sight. And you feel like you've
I
been,
think.
Then say that the Vietnamese phrasing is struck by the lightning of love. Okay, it's like being struck by the Cupid's arrow. And we fall in love and we are at the same vibrational frequency. And we may even decide to get married overnight. That's what Las Vegas are for.
I believe it, but it never happened to me. I'm waiting
It is to me, it is with me. So with my wife and me, the process of our trying to get to know each other is very short. Okay, just a couple months. People can spend years trying to get to know each other, working out their affinity, falling in and out of love, arguing and then making up and all the drama that goes along with it. And then 9 years down the line, they finally decide to get married. For me and my wife, it's pretty short. Okay, we met online. We have clear mental images about each other. We have clear concept about each other. For me, I experience balance and positive energy when I think about her. And in a short amount of time, we met online. I went to Vietnam. 3 months later, I proposed. A few months later, we got married. And it has been 10 years. And it seems to get better and better. Okay. Later on, we'll talk about the formula for a harmonious marriage, which involve speaking the same language, about love, sexuality, and finance. But here, my affinity with my wife seems to be pretty positive at the onset. There are other cases when you just meet somebody, a coworker, a friend at a party, and you feel like you are vibrating on the same energy frequency level. On the other hand, sometimes you meet with another person and they haven't done anything to you yet, and we feel terrible. We get a sense that we don't get along. They get on our nerve, and we hate their presence, even though we haven't done anything to them yet. We just met. Yet we get a sense from an energy level that we are incompatible, that we don't match, or that relationship or that affinity is negative. Science cannot explain it with, social science and relationship cannot explain that if we haven't met that person in this lifetime. But if you allow for the possibility of previous lifetimes, then it is possible that we have been cultivating the affinity with that person, positive or negative, in the past. We may have met them before, but we may have insulted them in the past, or they may have done something to us in the past, so that our relationship with them has taken on a negative or positive energy polarity, so that now when we meet, immediately that energy is jarring, negative or positive. The idea of soulmate, right? The idea of soulmate. People believe that there's soulmate. Match was made in heaven. Okay. If you allow for the possibility of multiple lifetime, then it makes a little bit more sense that sometimes we meet somebody for the first time and we get the sense of compatibility or a sense of incompatibility with them, because we may have cultivated that affinity with that person in the past. Same thing with the other outcomes in life, other circumstances, our health, our finance. Okay, we may not have done anything in terms of finance, but suddenly we get lucky and we win the lottery. Or we have been working hard on our finance and a thief comes and steal our identity and we lose all the money. We cannot explain that, why we get that kind of fortune or misfortune, unless we open up the possibility of the subconscious mind operating. The engine of value creation, the engine of spiritual and wisdom merit. That in the past lifetime, maybe we have done things to other people that have spread out and now bounced back, and we are reaping the fruit of the kind of seed that we have planted. And so our subconscious mind is storing all of that energy. Okay. So how do we deal with these fruit when they start to, how do we deal with these seed? Okay, we're constantly planting seed every time we're hearing, seeing, and saying and knowing. Okay, every time we think about something, it takes on a positive or negative charge. And the only way to prevent a seed, in order to prevent the planting of new positive and negative seed, is to take refuge in the truth within us. Every time we encounter a bit of knowledge, every time we encounter a person, we take refuge in the truth that we are simply hearing, that we are simply seeing, simply speaking and knowing, and we wait a little bit before letting the mind and the emotion take over, because if we are not conscious of that, then it will inadvertently cultivate and condition that seed with negativity. But if we are conscious of it, we are aware of it, then we can stop that tree from growing. Yes, in the past, we may have planted a negative seed against somebody. But if we stop conditioning it, it won't grow. It won't bear fruit. It can just sit there. It just sit there. And while it is sitting there, we go and we plant new seed, new positive seed. Could be the same person, but we stop cultivating the negative affinity with that person. Instead, we plant new seed and we cultivate new affinity with that same person. And after a while, all the bad seed with that person just kind of sit there, nothing happened. And as long as we don't cultivate it, the new positive seed will take root. And the new positive seed with another person, our affinity with them, will eventually bear positive fruit. But only if we recognize the truth within ourselves, so we can stop cultivating it with negativity. It can be a little how do you say, tiring to go and cultivating all these seeds and all these plants, right? Imagine 10,000 lifetimes have passed. And each lifetime we encounter thousands of people and thousands and, uncountable moments with them, uncountable amount of possible time that we have hear, see, say, and think, and know, ooh, we have been cultivating this, all those seed in the garden. It can get pretty overwhelming. How are you going to manage all of those trees, all of those plants? Well, we can't. Not individually, not every single one, because it's impossible. But this garden is pretty vast. The garden of our subconscious is very, very vast. And our conscious mind is only a tiny fraction of it. So instead of spending our effort and energy cultivating every single seed and every single plant, we just employ a drone, okay? We spray across the entire field with positivity. We employ a drone and we spray the energy of honoring gratitude wherever and whenever. We spray the energy of magnanimity. We spray the energy of serenity. And so thereby mass cultivating this entire field with just 3 positive energy. And then we don't have to worry about the negativity. And if the negativity does come up, because by then, okay, by now it is through the total causality, the total causal outcome had decided that at this moment in time, that fruit is going to bear, that tree is going to bear fruit, and whatever outcome we get it, we're going to get it. So what happened when we experience a bad fruit? Okay, what to do with bad fruit? You simply know it and receive it. When we receive a bad fruit, an undesirable circumstance, even a negative outcome of some affinity with another person, okay, we simply know, okay, bad fruit, I receive it. If UPS comes, just go ahead and sign and receive it. Because if you don't sign, he'll come back. Find other ways to make sure you get your package. Okay. The delivery person of the universe is pretty persistent. They will chase you down. Just know it and receive it. And we know it and we welcomely receive it. We're going to experience serenity. Okay, we know it and we receive it, we experience serenity. Also know that there is no double jeopardy in causality, because once we receive that package, desirable or undesirable, once we receive it with serenity, with balanced energy, check this out, with balanced energy, that means we are actually no longer cultivating. When we receive it with balanced energy, we are no longer cultivating it with positive or negativity. And so that tree will no longer bear fruit. We actually can stop causality, just as we can complete our sentencing in the purgatory and not experience further pain and suffering for that sin. Only if we know it and we welcomely receive it. Okay, let's add the word welcomely receive. Okay, welcomely receive it. Know it and welcomely receive it. What happens when we experience a negativity with other people? You can also know it and welcomely receive it. Okay, when it comes to people, we can also know it and welcomely receive it. But if and when that becomes difficult, okay, if somebody hurt is really bad, and we cannot simply accept that with serenity, then at least initiate Magnanimity. At least try to be generous with the other person. We may see them as offending us. We may see them as committing some fault against us. But we can initiate formula for the root cause of life. Root cause of life begin with me. This is my garden of subconscious, and I don't need to blame the other person for it. I don't need to blame myself either for it. Be magnanimous. Be generous with the other person. When we encounter a negativity with ourselves, there are times when we blame ourselves, right? We get disappointed with ourselves. We angry with ourselves for our failure, for our shortcoming, for our sins. At those moments, don't let that negativity take hold, because when you let those negativity take hold, you are telling Mr. Will, please water my affinity tree with myself with negativity. No, so instead, go positive. Tell Mr. Will, please give me some positivity. Okay, cultivate my affinity tree with some positivity, especially the energy of magnanimity. It's okay to be generous with ourselves, especially if we are the kind of person who is very critical with ourselves and other people. How do we make sure that we experience negative outcome in life and we don't go negative? How do we make sure that when we are reaping a fruit that is negative, that is bad, and we don't go even more negative? Because when we receive the fruit that is bad, it is already the outcome of some negative actions or words in the past, and we continue to plant it with more negativity. We become angry that we receive it. We be resentful that we receive it. We blame ourselves, we blame other people. Then all we do is we have just continued to cultivate the garden of our subconscious mind, that tree, with negativity. And so we're going to get more negativity. But instead, when we receive something that is negative, okay, we want to initiate the principle of mental activation. Lesson, impression, realization. Okay, so when a undesirable circumstances happen, take a moment. If we can, just know it and receive it. Be empty. If it with people, be magnanimous. If it with some other circumstance, let's say physical health problem, financial difficulty, undesired circumstances, a crisis, okay, a crisis happened, slow down for a moment. Find the lesson. Find the impression, which is applicable in the new lesson, and see if we can come up with any new realization. And if we can do that, then we will have essentially initiated the energy of honoring gratitude. So whenever we experience a circumstance that we consider to be negative or undesirable, just have the awareness that it is nothing more than the fruit. It is the outcome of some bad seed that we have planted in the past. It is a outcome of all the bad conditioning that we have cultivated in the past. Knowing that opens up a choice. Having that awareness now opens up a choice to stop cultivating it and then plant new seed. Okay, step one, to know it, receive it. Experience serenity. No double jeopardy in causality. If we eat that fruit, it'll be done. Okay. Step two, be magnanimous with people. Step three, find the lesson in the difficulty, in the struggle, the challenge. Don't be grateful for the problem. Gratitude has a powerful, attractive energy that gives us more of what we are grateful for. Okay, you might want to write that one. Gratitude has an energy that will multiply what we are grateful for. If we are grateful for our health, we're going to get more health. If we are grateful for our money, we're going to get more money. If we are grateful for our wonderful relationship with people, we're going to improve our relationship with those people. But if we are grateful for the negative stuff, we're going to get more of that. Don't be grateful for the bad things. Be grateful for the lesson that we have learned that came out of the bad thing. Be grateful for the lesson. Okay. Sometimes it is a little bit more simple to know and receive circumstances that just kind of happen, like natural disaster. Okay. Things that happen that doesn't have an affinity attached to some people. If we're driving and a stranger hit us in a truck or a car or something, and we damage our car and damage our body, we may not be so resentful toward the stranger. We can be magnanimous. We can chalk it up to be an accident. It's just an accident. It's okay. It's more simple to be magnanimous to people that we don't know, the people we have a balance or a neutral affinity with. But when it comes to people that we have some sort of relationship with, then sometimes it can become a little difficult to be magnanimous with them because of the part of a human nature called attachment to identity. You are my spouse. You're supposed to understand me. You're my spouse. You're supposed to do this or that. You're my son. You're supposed to listen. You're my parent. You should behave a certain way. And when they don't behave a certain way, when they don't satisfy our human desire and an imagination for certain things, then it is our attachment to that identity, the fact that they are our spouse, the fact that they are our children, or the fact that they are our parent, it can be a little difficult to be magnanimous with them. When I was 17 years old, I fell in love for the first time. Okay, nice girl. Great big smile. Met her in 11th grade. Over the summer, I went to work my first job at McDonald's, flipping hamburger. She was the cash register. Fell in love with the girl. Found the courage to ask her out on a date, and she actually said yes. Okay. At that time I had a lot of self-limiting self-awareness, fear of rejection, self-trivialization, all of those 6 awareness. I was terrified, even though I managed to ask her out. We haven't even gone on a date yet. On the day of the date, at that time, I was still under my parents' roof. And the policy of the house is that, when we leave the house, we have to tell our parent where we're going, what time we're going to be back, and stuff like that. I had to write down my friend's name, the address, and where I was going. And for today, I wrote the name, the address, and my mom looked at the name and the address like, wait, that's a girl's name. Before, it was no problem with me hanging out with my guy friends, playing video game for hours, who cares? But it's a girl's name. Ooh, wait, why are you going out with a girl? Where are you going? What are you doing with a girl? And so, and in the subsequent days, as I was getting to know this girl, my parent sat me down and gave me lectures, hour-long lectures on why I should spend time studying instead of going out, and how many other kids will date early, get each other pregnant, and drop out of schools and have a terrible life. Here I am, I was already vulnerable. I was already scared, so full of lack of confidence, okay, inferiority. And here my parent reinforced all of that. My inner state was already negative, anxiety, okay? And here my parent, instead of supporting me, right? Young man at that time, hormones all over the place, couldn't control my feelings. Instead of supporting me as a man, my dad went along with my mother and basically admonished me against dating. And of course, negative state result in negative outcome. So the outcome of my relationship with that girl is negative. I did not, we didn't go very far. Right? She did not become my girlfriend the way I wanted. And so I started to blame my parent. I was already negative. I blamed myself and I blamed my parent. Attachment to identity. Here's my dad, okay? Here's me, a boy, 17 years old. I was vulnerable. I needed a man to show me the ropes, show me how to treat a woman, show me how to treat a girl. But instead, he didn't teach me how to be a man. He taught me how to be, I don't know, I don't know. There's no word for that. Okay. So I blamed my parents for a long time. Okay, for a very long time. And to get back at them, when I went to college out on my own, I had my freedom. I was not under their direct control or supervision. I did things that they would later, be disappointed. Basically, I wanted to get back at them by hurting myself. Later on, I shared that with them later. But the idea is that because of our attachment to identity, we had certain expectation. I expected my dad to be the man of the house, to be the confident one, to show me the rope. But because of that expectation, that attachment to that identity, it made it difficult for me to be magnanimous with my parents. And I went the opposite way. Okay, I did everything I can to damage my affinity with my parents. Did everything I could to basically hurt them as a revenge for them hurting me, but they didn't do anything. They were just being parents. It is only when I did learn to understand the truth within me, that it is a human nature, that is our inner state, that is the cause of our own suffering. cause and effect. It is our inner state, our inner awareness, our energy vibration that will manifest in the outward outcome of life that are the fruit. So if we learn to detach from identity, whatever that man said, he just a man, he just happened to be a husband, and he respected his wife at that time, and he told me these things, and that's it. But I didn't know that. I attached that identity. Oh, he's my dad, he's supposed to be the man of the house, he's supposed to be the confident one. He was a confident one. He he dated, and women, were very attracted to him. I didn't have any of that. But because I was attached to that identity, attached to his identity, it made it difficult for me to be magnanimous. And so I carried that negativity with me for many years. It resulted in depression. It resulted in anxiety, okay? And resulted in a lot of negativity in life's, life situation. Attachment to identity. Stop being attached to identity. It becomes more simple to be magnanimous to people. Okay, so and several other. So that's one thing to pay attention to. It is attachment to identity. Another thing, another awareness and perception. So we talk about cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect, as a formula for cause and effect, there is a component of cause and condition. The cause also bring about the effect, but the effect are the in-between stuff. There's a cause and a condition. Okay, it is the inner seed, inner awareness, and then the affinity with people. It is the inner awareness and the affinity with people that will eventually bear fruit into the effect part. An awareness that we invite you to adopt as a sort of wholesale cultivation of your entire field of the seed of affinity. Instead of planting every single seed, we just mass cultivate the field, right? Like you're using a drone or an airplane, and we just spray fertilizer or spray water over the entire field with a certain awareness. And we invite you to adopt the awareness that positive opportunity all come people. Okay, it is always people that bring positive opportunity to us. If we are fortunate enough to be born in a family where we experience loving harmony, it is people that bring us into that family. If we are fortunate to have a job that is well-paying, great benefit, it is people who introduce us to that job, or people who hired us into that position. If we have a business and the business bring in a lot of profit, it is people who have helped us receive those benefits. So when positivity comes, it is from people. On the other hand, when negativity comes, negative outcome, okay, when we get negative outcome, then instead of blaming people, we switch it over to negative outcome due to my inner seed, not yet positive. That's all. And root cause of life begin with me or originate within me, right? Okay. So this is how we can take ownership of the cause and condition part of our formula for cause, condition, and effect. This is how we protect ourselves from going negative in our inner awareness and inner state. When good opportunity comes, and if we don't give credit to other people and we give credit to ourselves, what happens is that we are actually going negative. I don't know if I still have it right here. If we take credit, too much credit for ourselves, we go arrogant, we go selfish. And after a while, we build up negativity in arrogance and selfishness. And when our inner state is negative, guess what? Our outer external reality will start to attract negativity as well. If opportunity comes, positive opportunity comes, and we don't credit other people for it, what we're doing, we're telling Mr. Will, please cultivate my affinity with negativity. So we're growing a bunch of negative trees instead of positive trees. So we want to make sure that whenever good opportunity comes, we credit people. It is the cause and condition part of our causality equation that protect us from going negative. On the other hand, when negative outcome comes to us, we want to protect ourselves from going further negative. Don't blame people. If we blame people for the negative outcome, then we go more negative. We tell Mr. Will to cultivate those trees with more negativity, then we're going to get more negativity, more undesirable circumstances. But instead, to protect ourselves when negativity comes, we simply say, it is due to my inner seed, not yet positive yet. And the root cause of life begins with me. And so I can choose to change things around. I can choose to monitor my hearing and seeing, and I can choose to change the things that I say and what I know. I can choose to navigate the map of my human nature in a path of positivity. And if possible, go balance. Right? This opens up a little bit of awareness when it comes to affinity with people. Okay. There is those energy, the three super high, and super high energy. It has a powerful effect on our garden of subconscious mind. Serenity what that does, it stimulates the total causal knowledge and wisdom. Why? Because when we experience serenity, when our mind is balanced, it is not colored by positive and negative vibration of the mind and the emotion. We see things, we understand things with clarity, thereby stimulating our total causal knowledge. Knowledge has positive and negativity. When we come across a bit of knowledge, we can color it with our mind and emotion. Over time, it becomes judgment. Okay, and it becomes a judgment. It becomes an opinion, and it takes on a negative and positive polarity. It becomes biased, and because when it's biased, it's not true. It's not clear. It limits our knowledge. In our garden of subconscious, if we mass cultivate our garden with the energy of Magnanimity, what it does, it stimulates positive total causal affinity. Affinity is our attraction with other people. It is through people that we experience positive or negative outcome in life. Most of the time. Think about it. With the exception of rare few natural resource and natural disaster, most of the time things happen to us through people. Whether it's a car accident or a winning the lottery, some people are involved. People are everywhere. We are connected to people. Can anybody come up with an instant, with an event that happened to you that does not involve people? There's always some people. So when we can learn to cover our garden of subconsciousness with the mass cultivation of magnanimity, and essentially everybody we meet, we will stimulate our positive total causal affinity with everybody. More positive opportunity, more positive outcome will come to us through people. In our garden of subconscious, if we can mass cultivate all the trees and all the seed with honoring gratitude, what that will stimulate positive total causal fruit or outcome. If we are grateful for our healthy body, naturally we will take care of our healthy body and we will get healthier. If we are grateful for the relationship we have with our spouse and our children, we will naturally take care of it and we will get better outcome of it. If I'm grateful for the pen, I will take good care of it. I will use it in an appropriate way. I can use it to create value for other people. And my outcome in life will get better simply because I have just been grateful for the pen and used it appropriately. If I'm not grateful for the pen, I would use it to be a toy and I would do other wrong thing with it, and then I would not create value according to the way the pen was designed to be used, and then I would not reap any fruit that is tied to the usefulness of the pen. But if I'm grateful for the pen, I use it to write, to share knowledge, then eventually I'm going to reap the benefit of the sharing of knowledge thanks to my recognition of the usefulness of the pen. So honor and gratitude stimulate the total causal outcome in life, in whatever field, whatever areas of life that you intend or set your mind to. Okay. And then the other way we have already learned, to raise our energy, to raise our spiritual energy, we perform the 7 great gifts. Okay, constantly give our fortune away to people. Just a total reminder. Okay, our inner state is tied to the spiritual, what was the word that I came up with today? Spiritual merit and wisdom merit, is that it? Something like that. Okay, it is tied to those. How much we accumulate in terms of positive or negative spiritual merit determine our inner state. How much we accumulate in terms of wisdom merit will determine our inner state. Okay. This is the essentially to be fortunate. Okay, blessed. It's interesting. I have a coworker, have not studied this philosophy at all. But one day I made a comment. I said, I know, what did I say? I said, oh yeah, I said, friend, I noticed that you spend your own money to decorate the office, to buy treats for other people. So I have a friend who loves to decorate the office, who makes other people feel good. She buys treats, candies, and cakes, and she makes people feel good. When it comes to birthday and stuff, she would organize birthday party. And so I made a comment, friend, I noticed that you use your own resources to make people happy. And she simply said, I know. That is why I am blessed. To my friend, she had an intuitive understanding that to be blessed, meaning to make other people happy. Fortunate. To be blessed. To have good fortune. To meet positive fortune. From a religious and spiritual perspective, to be fortunate is to be blessed, spiritual energy. From a scientific perspective, it is the vibrational energy frequency match. And from a common sense, it is to be lucky. Some people are just more lucky. or that luck came from something. And so previously, before we understood causality, and we say somebody is lucky, we simply think of it as fate. Okay? And the idea of fate is something that has been predetermined fate. You can't change your fate. Your number is up. You people hear common sense people say that his number is up. It's inevitable. Well, now with the understanding of causality, it's still fate. Your number is up. When you reap that fruit, it is because of all the causes and all the conditioning that we have gone through. The seed that we have planted. So when at the moment of reaping that fruit, it is inevitable that we reap that fruit. There is no other way. So when we say the root cause of life begins with me, the choices I've made is compatible with who I am. That is a statement on the vibrational energy frequency match. At that moment in time, whatever choice I make is a compatible match for my vibrational energy at that time, and therefore the outcome in life is compatible with the choices. And so whatever fruit that I am reaping at this moment, it is determined or predetermined by the choices. But since we understand how causality works, we can influence the choices. Right? Fate, causality. So fate now is no longer something that is predetermined, no longer something that is outside of our control. So it becomes determinable. 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 So predetermined fate becomes predeterminable. Determinable. Still fate, but we control our fate. Through the law of causality. By planting positive seed, cultivating it with positive affinity, we're going to reap positive outcome. This one is free will. This one is no free will. Still fate, but we control the fate. Okay? So, no such thing as lucky. We can be fortunate, but there's no such thing as chance anymore now that we understand causality. We control our fate. It is free will. Okay? Pressure and impression. There's an element in here. So very simple. Causality, just want to, this is the 7 gifts, okay? 7 gifts through, merit, okay, positive merit. Through the law of causality, through the acts of 7 gifts and positive merit, spiritual and wisdom, our fate become determinable because we control it. Does that open up any awareness and perception for you guys? The little interaction just now?
Thank you, Frank. So this all tied in with our garden of subconscious.
Yeah. Because every time we think about a person, every time we have some kind of knowledge and we cultivate it with positivity, it will influence the way we think, it will influence the way we behave. And we are going to reap the fruit of those, the way we think and the way we behave.
So the things we say and the thing we believe, we know the result already in our image.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
In other words.
Yeah. So you can use this ties into the formula for the root cause of life. If we want the end result to be a positive one, we can begin to cultivate the hearing, the seeing, the saying, the knowing. These can be the mental images. If those mental images are positive, we are essentially telling Mr. Will to cultivate the garden of our subconscious with positivity. Over time, remember that whole formula to go from personality to act, to habit, to action, to thinking, to belief. Over time, what we say, based on what we say, it's going to influence what we believe, influence what we do. And if what we do is action that repeated, it becomes habit. If habits are all positive, it becomes a personality of positivity. A person of positive personality will tend to make positive choices, and we're going to get positive outcome. From scientific perspective, we pull in the root cause formula.
Right.
From a vibrational energy perspective, it is our inner awareness. It is our spiritual merit and wisdom merit.
It's like when I first met Hua. I saw her. She only spoke a few words, but I said, "That's the girl for me." And then her family was giving me negative words, but I looked at all the positives.
Oh, okay.
And
did
here
you
we are now.
initiate emptiness of being? Were you magnanimous with them? There you go. The words, it's just words.
I let those words go in one ear, out the other.
Perfect. A state of empty and balance. Mr. Will get to go on vacation that day. He did not get to have to cultivate any negativity with that affinity. Yeah, Mr. Will get to go sleep.
Yeah.
You're balanced. And if Mr. Will is go to work, you only allow him to work on the positive affinity.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Our subconscious, our conscious, very powerful stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Inner state, spirit. Okay.
Morgan, what do you think? Free demon.
No, I'm just listening, observing.
My
Interesting.
spelling needs to
Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. that he mentioned, you know, at the first time when I saw her, I said, "Oh, this is who she is." I was looking for. You was looking for somebody, right? And your heart just send you the message. She's the one, right?
I don't know if he was looking for anything that one at the moment.
I know I was not looking for, I just came out of a negative, I had a lot of darkness in my life at that time too. So
Mm.
yeah, I wasn't really looking for anybody, but then I saw her and yeah, something just sparked within me.
This is a sign God sent you the
Yes.
light. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
God is
blessing,
always at
actually.
work. Okay, God is always at work, but he likes to operate according to universal principles and natural law.
Mm.
It is rare that God will step in and does something out of the, you know, that defy the law that he's already, you know, passed. Okay, God operate according to the law of causality.
So as a human, if we were to, and not if we were, we are operating within the laws and the principles, then things are more simple.
Yeah.
And some of us tend to make things big deal, then the big deal came as big deal.
Yeah.
Correct.
Simplify it, simplify it, simplify it.
Mm.
The 10 Commandments that God gave to Moses essentially just help us stay within the alignment with the universal principles and natural law. Right? It just didn't explain it in this way so we can understand it, you know, more completely, more thorough. But this way we can sort of master of our faith. The other, if you just obey the 10 Commandments, and we just kind of blindly obey it, it's just a belief. But understanding it makes it more real.
Mm.
All right. The Buddhist approach to it is that don't believe anything unless you know it. Once you know it and understand it, it becomes a lot more real than just believing. There's a difference between believing that the sun will come up tomorrow morning and then knowing that the sun will come up tomorrow morning.
Yes.
There's a difference between a person who believes in Jesus or Allah and a person who knows the reality of Jesus and Allah. A person who believes blindly can be misled and believe something that is not true or bad. There are religious zealots who will do bad things out of a belief, out of the not knowing. It is the delusional aspect of the human perception.
That's
But if
it.
yeah,
This is the key.
yeah. But if a person comes to a clarity and understand, and we know God, we know Jesus Christ from a fundamental, from a principle and natural law, then that knowledge is solid. You can't shake knowledge. You cannot undo knowledge because it's foundational, it's principle. And then then you cannot lose your faith. You cannot lose your faith. You cannot lose your religion. So this teaching, this philosophy, if you apply it to your own religion, it makes you a better religious person. A Buddhist understanding causality becomes a better Buddhist. A Christian, a Catholic who understand causality, understand Jesus on a deeper level. A Muslim understanding the law of causality and submit himself or herself to the will of God, which is what the word Islam stands for, then you become a more perfect Muslim. It is not a religious teaching, it is just a teaching on the fundamental principles of the universe. And once we understand it, nothing can shake our faith in whatever religion that we have. And fortunately, God does speak in a language that all the religion should be able to understand. right? The language of causality, the language of love, 7 great gifts, the language of the golden rule, do unto others what you will have done unto yourself. One common language. And if we speak that language, then we can speak to anyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
True.
That's powerful for determine. We're able to determine, and we can control our own fate.
Yeah.
Free will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free
Yes.
instantly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll be back at 2:45. Let's do 2:45, 36. Now let's give a full 15 minute. Let's do 50, 250.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll go into the reality triangle. 250, almost 3. Okay. Okay. See you guys in a bit.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.